Hey, what's up my friends? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor and today I'm going to talk about how you can actually stop caring about what other people think of you. Most people, if you ask them, they'll be like, I don't care what people think. I don't care what people think of me. I just don't care anymore. They're full of shit. We all do. But that's not exactly accurate. We don't necessarily care so much about what other people think of us. Is that many times other people's opinions of us make us question ourselves. And that's where the actual emotional stress comes from. And they're just physical reminders of our own self-doubt and insecurity. So how do you actually, beyond just saying you don't care what people think, how do you actually not be emotionally affected by the opinions of others? I think any honest person who's actually made headway in this endeavor will say that it's a bit of a process and it's a bit of a journey. There's not going to be a YouTube video that's going to tell you in 10 minutes and actually break that connection that you feel to other people's opinions, but hopefully you can initiate and spark the beginning or help fuel you along if you're already on this path of self-discovery. So I'm going to go over, with that said, it being a journey and all, I'm going to go over a few different things that have actually helped me that are things that you can replicate and take to the bank and start doing right now today. Number one is start living up to your own standards. And if you don't know what those are, create them. A lot of different books I've read have made the suggestion to write out, actually map out your core values. Like what is actually important to you? Oftentimes we make decisions and are led by just conditioned, we're just kind of lost in these conditioned loops and patterns, and they oftentimes don't exactly accurately represent our true core values. But if you can sort of remind yourself what they are and then act accordingly, you'll be surprised at just how much more confident and much more pleased with your own self, your own performance at life you will become, and therefore the opinions of others won't matter as much because you'll actually be living up to your own standards. It's essentially about slowly working towards the ideal of embodying the person who you really want to be. If you really want to be really successful or have like a lot of influence in the world or be in really good shape or whatever your goal is, it could be anything. If you actually want that, and as I mentioned in other videos, it's tough to not want something. You want what you want. If you want something, then if you're not actually that, there's going to be an inner conflict. And the inner conflict itself is what's going to attract the naysayers and the negativity and the people's opinions that seem to be the culprit for you not feeling good about yourself at all, but they're really a blessing. They can actually help you become aware that, oh, yeah, this person said you have a hideous shirt. God, that was mean, but you know what? This isn't really the shirt I'd prefer to be wearing, but I can't afford the shirt I really want. Shit. So what am I going to do? I'm gonna apply for that promotion and get a better job and afford the shirt I really want. Just an example, obviously. Be the person you know yourself to be. Number two is go after. And this is tough. This is where it gets freaking nitty. You gotta get some elbow grease going, get some just mental toughness, just jump. Is go and tackle what you perceive to be your greatest shortcomings and weaknesses. That will have the biggest impact to your self-esteem. There's this girl I'm working with, and I've been working with her for a little while, and she suffers from extreme levels of fatigue. And unfortunately, she also has a thing where she struggles to, she's so afraid of failing. She doesn't like to commit to challenging things because if she's unable to complete what she sets out to do, she feels really down on herself. So that sort of prevented her from doing a lot of the things that she thinks might have helped her with this extreme fatigue. But just in this last month, she's committed to this crazy ass cleanse that I don't even think I could do. This sort of raw vegan sort of cleanse thing she's doing, very restrictive. And again, she's normally not the person that would be able to adhere to something even 10 times more mild than that, but she just got it in her head to do it, and she's like just about a couple of days away from being done with it. And just it's been night and day with this person. She's a coaching client and someone I email. I've been doing it for a while, and many of her earlier emails were very like dark and expressing her problems, and this last one was just like, she's got this awesome relationship, she's so happy, she's got this new thing she's going for with a sense of purpose, the fatigue is freaking gone, and it's all because she had tackled her weakness, the fatigue, and also the lack of self-confidence in her ability to implement the game plans her mind wants and tries to set up for herself. She just went at it. And I'm sure it wasn't easy. I know it wasn't. But in doing that, she's like a freaking transformed person in 30 days. I had the same effect within 30 days, but I used to be a heroin addict. That was my #1 biggest thing. That caused me to feel horrible about myself for a lot of obvious reasons. But there came a time after like 6 rehab, I said, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna learn from all the different mistakes of what didn't work, and I'm gonna do the opposite. I started doing the opposite of what came naturally to me, and which I moved out of where I was living. I started hanging around people who I would actually not want to hang out with, not really cool people. They were like much older than me, boring AA type people. I started freaking following them along like a lost puppy. I stopped doing the things that seemed fun, like going out to clubs and picking up chicks and all kind of shit. I went for it. It was hard. I sometimes look back and don't know how I did it, but I did it. And in doing so, in overcoming my addiction to heroin, which it's a tough drug, it gave me such a ridiculous amount of confidence to where, from that point forward, almost anything I really set my mind to, I was able to achieve because I could always rest upon that. Knocked the legs, as Tony Robbins said, out from under my greatest shortcoming, and in doing so, I blossomed. And you can too. What's your one thing? What's the biggest thing holding you back? Go for that today. And it will not matter what people think of you, because you will start to think differently about yourself. You will prove your awesomeness to yourself. #3 is use every single naysayer's negative opinion of you as fuel for your transformation. Someone says anything that bugs you, that causes you to doubt yourself, you ask why. Why do I give a shit what this asshole thinks? Why? What is it? What do I believe about myself that this person is reminding me of? That's one way you can use that, because if you can discover that, you can change it through action. And therefore, interestingly enough, when you make an inner change, you might have a little bit of a life law of attraction type of echo effect, where you run into somebody who says something very similar, but all of a sudden you realize that you have changed, that you are responding differently by not responding at all. You're not bothered by the same comment, the same opinion. It does not affect you emotionally because you have changed. But most people would just become very defensive and play the victim and say, wow, that's really mean of him, that's really mean of him, I didn't do anything to him, and you miss it. You can grow very quickly by taking responsibility for all the negative opinions that you're getting. Secondly, it can have a different effect. Maybe you're going into a place where it's just tons and tons of negativity, and you're doing your best to look at yourself, but it just comes down to the mere fact that this group, the people, the person, the relationship, the situation, it's just negative. It's just a negative situation, and it's just every time you go in, no matter what you do, no matter how much you build yourself up, it's too overwhelming. Well, that's a sign to get the fuck out of there and to leave and to make a change. And oftentimes we don't do that because we doubt that. It comes back around to the self-doubt. We don't believe we're better than this situation on some level. We don't believe that we have what it takes to take this leap or to change the situation. We're afraid of letting it go even though it causes us pain. Both of which are golden opportunities for massive inner and outer changes and positive shifts to yourself, to your life, and to your self-esteem if you can take responsibility and always correlate the inner lesson with the external challenge. So that's it, my friends. It is my hope that these few things help you along in your own journey of self-development and reminding yourself that you are awesome, contrary to what you might have learned earlier in life. I will speak to you in another video. Have an amazing day. Namaste.